My man Czar make tracks like this.
What's going on, y'all? I want to give you my review of the Chameleonn Labs 7720 stereo VCA compressor. This is an update to the very popular 7720 bus style compressor from Chameleonn Labs. And this took over 3 years to get to us, and I'll be honest, I gave up on it at times. But this has been through many different revisions, both name and features. It was first introduced as the 7730 back at Winter NAMM 2016. I saw a version with an input gain knob. I saw a version with dual VU meters. I saw a version with output transformers, none of which made it to the final version that we have now. But I'm very happy that it's shipping and available now. Let's take a look at the front panel and some controls and features. So let's take a look at the front panel. So on the left, you have your compression in and out. You have a soft and hard knee, side chain in and out. Yes, this has an external side chain on the back. And you have a peak RMS switch. So some of these are very unique features. I've not seen a RMS option on a hardware compressor. I've seen it a few times in plug-in format, but it's nice to have this in a analog hardware compressor. The RMS measures the average level, or the detection will be the average level, where the peak is generally what compressors do, is compress at the peaks. What I like is the compression in and out. When you turn the compression out, you have a bright light that lights up that lets you know that the compressor is bypassed. Moving on down, you have a high frequency, high pass filter frequency here. And interestingly enough, you can't turn it completely off. The lowest it goes is 20 hertz, which is a really nice thing because you really don't want anything under 20 hertz in your mix anyway. So I do like that. At first, when I looked at it, I said, oh, there's not a way to completely bypass the high pass filter. But I like that it goes down to 20 hertz, so you can, remove that subsonic frequencies. You don't want that in your mix. Threshold, attack, release, ratio. Moving on down, you have a blend knob as well. I want to point out that this is one of the first things I noticed when I pulled this out the box and got to messing with it. I really looked at the 7721 as a SSL bus style compressor upgrade from the 7720. The 7720 was more of a SSL style clone. That idea is pretty much completely thrown out with the 7721. It is its own thing. It's not a complete SSL style bus compressor clone. With the features that it has, it really pushes beyond what an SSL bus compressor can do. So one of the first things I noticed when I got to messing with it is that the attack goes from 0.1 milliseconds up to 30 milliseconds. Yeah, you got your standard SSL bus compressor attack times here, but this is completely variable. You do have a center detent on all of the knobs, but this is completely variable, so you can get in between of that attack time, and same with the release. You can get in between those times. It's not just set stepped frequencies like in SSL. So I really like that. I was a little disappointed to not see an auto release here, which is popular with SSL bus style compressors. But again, you have to throw in my opinion, you have to throw the SSL bus compressor idea out the window when looking at this. Of course, SSL does not have a blend knob. You've got a blend knob here. Again, very nice feeling knobs. You got a center detent in the center. Your output gain. So this is something that I had to get used to. The output gain is still engaged when you bypass the compressor. This frustrated me at first because none of my other compressors are like this. So I'm just not used to a compressor working this way. However, the more I used the 7721, I realized how nice of a feature this is. This really allows you to compare your compressed signal to your uncompressed signal, because if I turn up the output some, I bypass the compressor, that output gain set is still set. So now when I engage it, I'm only hearing the compression versus the dry signal with that output gain on it. So didn't like it at first, grew to like it, and it's a pretty smart feature added on here. Next to that, like the 7720, you've got your input, output, and gain reduction for the VU meters. Now, if you look here and here, you have your output, or you have your clip indicator for the input and output. I really like this because you can see if you're clipping the input and you can see if you're clipping the output. Instead of just one clip light, you don't know if you're clipping the input or output. The 7721 will let you know if you're clipping the input or the output. Really nice feature there. The 7721 does not pass audio when it is powered off, so you will have to power it on to get signal through. It's not going to pass it with it powered off. One last thing too regarding those input and output lights, you will see, I don't know how well this comes in on the camera, but those lights are on, like they're lit up now, and though I don't have any signal running through it. Now, once those input and output get to, they look like more so like the compression output, a bright light. So when I first hooked it up, I thought that because those lights were on, I thought that I was overloading something, even though I had nothing plugged up. That's just the way the unit is. So you're going to see those lights on, but if you do clip the input or output, you will notice it because it's a much brighter light that comes in there. All right, let's get into some examples. So this is an artist named Leia, and I'm going to show you the VU meter right now just to show you that we're getting like 1 to 2 dB of gain reduction. And then I'm going to pan the camera over so you can see me bypass and engage the compressor. So remember, when the red light is on, that means the compressor is out. All right, here we go.
Sometimes you love me, then you don't. You stay, then you won't. Then you're gone, and I'm holding on, trying to see exactly what you want. One moment you're in, then you're out. What happened? Sure, then you have your doubts. Promise, then you always let me down. Now you think this, it's okay. You're never serious. You only play back and forth, then repeat. This ain't a way to love, and it's hurting me. Guess we'll never know where we could go. We're never really defined. Stand between you and I only get the pieces of you, bits and pieces.
So the settings I had there was a soft knee, detection was set to peak, 130 hertz high pass filter, 30 milliseconds for the attack, and 600 milliseconds for the release, 2-to-1 ratio, and the wet dry was set to 100. So with that, you'll notice when the compression was out, the vocal would swell up some and really sounded really thick in the low mids, and with the compressor in, it glued the track together. Felt like we had some more clarity in the vocals with the compressor on, and I really like how it handled this mix here. Let's go to another example. So this is an artist named Larissa J, a singer-songwriter that sings and plays acoustic guitar. So that's what we have here. And a little different settings this time. I have the high-pass filter set to 20 hertz. The attack 10 milliseconds, release 1.2 seconds, 4-to-1 ratio, wet dry set to 100%. Again, and the knee is set to hard, and the detection is set to peak. Once again, with the red light on, that means the compression will be out.
Ooh, 'cause you say I am not can't feel a thing. You say I am strong, but I think I am weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Oh, I believe, yes. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
So a little more aggressive ratio to catch those peaks there, and you can hear with the compression out, those peaks were swelling, the compression in, very controlled sound that we're getting. All right, let's move on to another example. So this is an artist named Coretta King. She plays piano and sings. And right now we've got just the piano track, and then we'll do the track with the vocal. But I want you to hear how the 7721 smooths out this piano. So I have the high pass filter at 60 hertz, a red, a soft knee, detection set to peak. 1 millisecond attack, 600 millisecond release, 4-to-1 ratio, wet drive, 100% wet. And I'm going to play it bypassed right now so you can hear where this piano gets loud, and then I'm going to play it back with the compression in so you can hear how it smooths it out. Okay, let's engage the compressor, and now let's listen to it again. Very impressed with how the 7721 is handling this piano track. Now let's hear the whole song. So this is now the song with the vocals, just the piano and the vocals. Knee is set to soft, detection set to peak. The attack 10 milliseconds, and remember that the 7721 the attack release and ratio is variable. So we're doing about 900 milliseconds on the release. The ratio 3-to-1, wet to dry set to 100%. We're going to listen to it with the compressor out, and then I'll play it again with the compressor in. Pay attention to how dynamic the vocal is with the compressor out, and then listen to how that changes with the compressor in.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me?
And with the compression in.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me?
So the 7721 really takes this song and makes it sound finished and complete and just ready to be sent off for mastering. Very much more controlled vocal that we're getting going through the 7721. All right, let's move on to one last example. So, lastly, let's have fun with some drums. So, I have the high pass filter to 20 hertz, hard knee, detection set to peak, uh, fastest attack, fastest release, 10-to-1 ratio, and wet dry set to 100%. I'm going to play this drums and I'm going to change the settings around as it go. Just you can hear just the different things you're able to do with the 7721 on drums. So there's an example of the 7721 on drums. So overall, I really like the 7721. It's a huge upgrade over the 7720 to me, especially the ballistics of the VU meter with the 7720. I could just push it. It seemed like it was a fine line from just a little bit of compression and just slamming the needle. Very nice ballistics here with the 7721. And you heard me say a lot over this review, control. And that's really what the 7721 does to me. It gives you control as well as glue for your buses, mix bus. I've been using this mainly on my mix bus, and compared to my other two bus compressors, the Smart C1LA, the 7721 is a little more transparent and open and has a tighter low end. The API 529, the 7721 has a wider stereo image than the API. So now I'll do a video comparing all three of these bus compressors because I think that will be really fun. But right now, this has been living on my mix bus and I've been very happy with it. I'll say the only thing I don't like about the 7721 is that recall can be a little painful because there's no markings around any of the attack release ratio. Recall for that's fine. Mainly the threshold is tough for recall. And just to let you know, the way I get around that is typically I just leave the threshold at probably about -6. And if I need to push into the compressor, I'll do it from my DAW. I'll use the mix tool in Studio One and just put it before the 7721 and just use it as an input gain to drive signal into it. Therefore, I don't have to change my threshold for the most part. So that's how I get around that. That is the only negative thing I can really say about it. This has features that I haven't seen on any other compressor, mainly the peak and RMS. And I really like the input and output overload meters. That's a nice touch as well. But again, that's my review on the 7721 from Chameleonn Labs. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.